Has God ever asked you to do something you do not want to do? My name's Jen McBride, and recently I've been sharing how I see God's light and how I experience His love. And I'd like to say that God has never asked me to do something hard or never asked me to do something I don't want to do, but He asks me to do things that are hard and things that I don't want to do all the time. Like, all the time. And sometimes they're just so stupid. And I'm like, really? Do you care about this? Out of all the things in the world, you care about this. But it's not it's me. He cares about me. He wants to help me become better, stronger, more self-reliant, and more dependent on Him, which I don't even know how that works, but it does. He wants me to make choices of my own free will that are good and will bless others, and He wants me to align my will to His. In so doing, He asks me to do hard things. What has He asked you to do that is super hard and you don't want to do? What has He asked you to do that you might be hiding from? And you might be like, no, not going to do it. And then the more we put that thing aside and hide it, it's harder to hear God's voice in our life. Has that ever happened to you? That God asks you to do something, it's hard, you're like, no way, no thank you, not interested. And then it's just harder to hear Him. And then as soon as you pick up that thing and as soon as you choose to do it, all of a sudden it seems like heaven's opened up and you can hear Him again. Do you think that maybe Satan tempts us immediately when we hear God's voice and we hear like, do this thing, and we're like, number one, was that really God? Like Satan comes in, it's not really God. You don't have to do that. That's uncomfortable. That's hard. Don't do it. And Satan's just sitting there on us like, you don't want to do that. And so we give into that temptation to not do what God asks, and then we can't hear God's voice as well. We're having a hard time feeling His love or experiencing hearing and receiving personal revelation in our life. But as soon as we choose to go back and do the very thing He asked that was hard, that we resisted, as soon as we choose to do it, all of a sudden the light's back on and we can hear Him. I testify, as we choose to do hard things, it's easier to hear God's voice. As we choose to resist what God asks us to do, it's harder to hear God's voice. So I experience God's love by doing what God asks, even though it's hard, and I receive His help to do it. But if I resist it, it's like the heavens turned off. If you like these messages, please like, subscribe, and share.